Good morning. You are watching Beyond the Headlines on Freedom Square TV. We are reaching you from our Enugu studios. And of course, Enugu is the capital of the Southeast zone of Nigeria. Today, we focus on a subject at the very heart of our democracy, continuous voter registration, CVR, and what it means as Nigeria moves closer to the 2027 general elections. The Independent National Election Commission, INEC, has just released updated statistics showing more than 5.3 million Nigerians have completed online pre-registration, while over 760,000 have completed their physical biometric registration. Southwest Zone currently heads or leads the numbers, while the Southeast is lagging behind. These figures raise important questions about awareness, access, and inclusiveness in our democratic process. According to the latest INEC figures, 5,385,060 Nigerians have completed online pre-registration, while 764,695 have concluded physical biometric registration as of September 21st, 2025. In terms of gender and demographics, women slightly lead in online registration, 51.99%, and the youth, 18 to 34 years, make up a large share of registrants. When you look at the geopolitical zone breakdown, Southwest leads, while Southeast is among the lowest in terms of pre-registration numbers. For example, in the Southeast zone, Imo State leads with 63,306 registrations. And also, the Southwest zone's figures are quite high, reflecting strong uptake there. These numbers don't give full picture. For example, we don't yet have all the physical registration data by zone, but they are crucial benchmarks. Having soft copies of downloadable zone-wide data means journalists, civil society, political parties, and citizens can verify, analyze, and compare and rely on selective reporting. Zone and state breakdown help us identify gaps, areas of low uptake, possibly due to insufficient awareness, logistics hurdles, or access issues. With 2027 election cycles looming, continuous voter registration data is the key metric of democratic inclusion. Are all eligible Nigerians being captured? That's the big question. It also puts duty bearers, INEC, state electoral offices, party structures under scrutiny. If one zone lags, we should ask why, actually. Our theme today is continuous voter registration and the 2027 elections, issues, challenges, and of course, prospects. To help us unpack these issues, I'm being joined by distinguished guests, a professor of government and public administration at the Enugu State University of Science and Technology, ESUT, and former chairman of ASO, ESUT branch. He is Professor Jude Udebtà. Prof, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Doc, and welcome.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you on Beyond the Headlines. Okay. Prof, before we go into the numbers, which is of course critical, let us begin broadly. And I want to take you down memory lane. What's your assessment of Nigeria's democratic journey since 1999? And how central is the voter registration exercise to the integrity of our elections?
Nigeria's democratic journey since 1999. That's virtually like looking at 25 years, yes. Going to 26. It's a complex mesh that we have, but we call it Nigeria's democratic journey. What we have to look at first is this concept that we are using now, the platform democracy. And that platform democracy, what do we have at it? We are looking at rule of law. We are looking at democracy. We are looking at what one of my friends would call dividends of democracy. And what are those dividends? Not just infrastructure, but freedom of choice. of movement. Then, of course, development, which would enhance those freedom, enjoyment of those freedom. You know, after the Second World War, one of the American presidents said, "You are going to talk about freedom from four freedoms: freedom from fear, freedom from want, freedom from hunger, and so on and so on." So these platforms that define democracy, you are asking me now, how far can we say that over the past 26 years we have done well in their regard?
Absolutely.
That's what you're asking me.
Yes.
If we talk of freedom of choice, let us begin, which has to do with rule of law. I don't want to be, because when I come to a platform in Nigeria, I'm always very careful because we don't want to run down the platform, because if you destroy it, what are you going to do again? How are you going to come back to that place? Now, if we use the 2023 election, I know that words are being thrown about now from the north, from the southwest, everywhere, about who actually won the election and who didn't win the election. That questions that issue of the choice of the people. One of my students, I remember, as a copper, lost her ears in River State because she went to vote. She went to vote. A dog gave her a slap, and she went to the gutter and she bled from the two sides, and she doesn't hear again. I don't want to talk of what we saw about Lagos. I don't want to talk about what we saw about so many other states. So we don't want to go there. So if you're talking about the choice, I don't know where it is. If you're talking about the rule of law, the judiciary is already in trouble. One of my friends said, one day I don't think I will be going around the street as a lawyer, because if there is trouble, they may kill me. Because he said he wants to travel outside the country. If you're talking of fear, fear is everywhere. If you have read Susan Liston's book on the Gulag Archipelago, you would see there's fear everywhere. People are so afraid. If you come to my area now, there's trouble, because when young men commit trouble, there's a place they run to in between Enugu, in between Ogu and the Aneri local government, then in between Enugu State and the Ebonyi State and Abia State. I don't want to go beyond there. They run to that place, and when they go there, they are free. So the place is seized. So there is what we call fear. So there is fear everywhere. So if you use the four freedoms, if you're talking of one, I had somebody talk about whether the Nigerians are hungry or not. But what I can answer, the only answer I can give is that I know that when we were at CIC 1975 to 1980, we were paying 20 kobo per term. And that 20 kobo provided everything. So I don't want to answer. That's the only response I have to that, so that nobody would put anybody in trouble. So these are the issues. So if you're talking about and I know that when Obasanjo, because now let me go now zero down to the 26 years. When Obasanjo took over in 1999, the Western press said that Nigerians are driving their last cars. But somehow he created a new middle class.
Yeah, he did.
I don't, because we have to talk of something that is concrete. Obasanjo created a new middle class. You love him or hate him, he created a middle class. Today, the middle class is gone. People are begging. Everybody is begging. I mean, that maybe you're not begging, but many people are begging. So if you're talking of middle class, there is no middle class. And without a middle class, because for you to have done mass communication, I am happy being with you because you're a student of history. A society without a middle class is gone, because it is easy to tear that apart. But if you have a strong middle class, you pull and pull, because of that inclusiveness, it has that tensile strength. It's able to stand the pressure. But now there is no middle class, and it does not work anywhere. I was listening to Margaret Thatcher talk the other day, and she said, look at what we created. She said how we created jobs. Can we talk of creating jobs in Nigeria in a concrete sense? In a concrete sense. So if you're talking of looking at those things, from 1999 to 2007, we had Obasanjo, and we know what happened between him and the former speaker, the late speaker, and then the former Senate President Nnamani from this part of the country. And we know what happened in between the small period of our brother, the late Yar'Adua. And then we know what happened between the years of Goodluck Jonathan to 2015. And we know what happened from 2015 to today under the All Progressives Congress. So we know the truth, but The important thing is that the truth is before us. You know not to look for anybody's trouble. The truth is before us. Are we in democracy? Apparently. Are we a republic? We are not. We are apparently a republic. So whether we are calling ourselves a republic or democracy, the basic ingredients of democracy include. I want you to look at Europe because, as a student of history, look at Europe and look at Britain. Look at America today. America today is under Donald Trump. Because sometimes I have to follow what people taught me in mass comm, Afghanistanism. So instead of talking about Nigeria, let me use Afghanistan to explain it. Now look at what is happening. Trump says he's running the book. What he says, he wants to now run like a monarch in America. And look at Britain, that is a constitutional monarchy. Look at the level of democracy in Britain. If you look at Britain, you will see democracy. People expect this. I was just listening to Sky News this morning and was looking at, the intricate, display dynamics of democracy there in the United Kingdom. So Nigeria we have tried when we compare ourselves with those who have not done well. But in terms of wealth, in terms of what God has given to this country, in terms of people, in terms of natural resources, we still have a long way to go in terms of democracy. That's what I have to say.
Okay, some people actually say that what we have in Nigeria cannot be called democracy. You begged the question. They said, look, it's just some people masquerading as politicians. That all the choices you just said, they don't exist. If you want to be politically correct, the judiciary is like captured. The People's Parliament have abdicated their responsibilities, whether at the federal level or at the state level. But at the federal level, state level, all legislators have turned themselves into executive assistants to the president or the governors. You hardly find where you have robust. We all say they should quarrel with their governors, but what are they? Are they questioning? Are they doing the oversight functions well? No, and then talk about fear. So basically, choices. One man said, "Look, as far as I'm concerned, the choices of our leaders were not made by us, so were made by the judiciary." Okay, and they don't want to go far; they go to Imo State, and they will tell you exactly. There's number 1, number 2, number 3, and by a miraculous legal tussle, number 4 became number 1. So you're right, but the truth we must say, our job here is to hold those government to account, not actually necessarily committing blasphemy or whatever. Having said that, Prof, let's just face what is facing us. Annexed latest figures show that some regions are ahead, and that is the northwest, that is the southwest. It's obvious. The southwest leads, the southeast records the lowest numbers. And unfortunately, from that record, my state, your state, Enugu State, is at the bottom. That's just the truth. And the big question is, why do you think these regional disparities exist?
Yeah,
Could it be apathy? Lack of sensitization or structural barriers?
you already have the answer. Let me just say, let me go personal. In 1983, I worked for Fedeco. I was the polling.
Then Fedeco.
Yes, Fedeco, because I'm talking of when Nigeria was Nigeria. I worked for Fedeco. I was in charge of the St. Bart's precinct, the district there. And my job was to make sure there was no rigging. I saw when rigging started, it started at the Enugu North, because my job was to make sure there was no rigging in that area. And my polling booth was the best and the most harmonious then. So, but that's by the way. Now you are talking of this voting, continual CVR in the Southeast. The Southeast is frustrated and therefore apathetic. The people don't have any, not just beyond Buhari's the dot in a circle. We have what is going on. And what is going on is making our people not to feel that they are part of what is going on. And the last report from the former governor of Kaduna State, even questions further. Why do we? Because let us go back to the scripture. The people of Israel came to God and said, "Why would we continue to fast when you don't see it?" Even though God answered them in the book of Isaiah, You see, but the fact of the matter is that the people do not see the reason to continue to register, since they know that the result is already there. The Southwest, whether it is contrived or not, they're already happy. They're happy. They are sure their child is going. So they are sure. But even when we know that our own child might have everything going for him, who is going to? I mean, people have already said that when the man was not the president, he won the election. So what are you contesting now? So some of these things are matters of apathy. But being apathetic doesn't solve the problem.
At all, it does not.
Why should people run away from your job is to do your own first. You know, as a young man, when I was a young man, I had a priest, I had a problem with a priest as the leader of young men. So myself and Mike, our president, we went to see Odobro. He's still alive today. Father Charles Ikeme. We went to see him because we wanted to physically, we wanted to take matters to our hands, and if possible, if necessary, beat up somebody. I don't want to mention that. So Odobro called us and prayed for us. After praying for us, he told us to stand up. We stood up. And he said, your job is to do your utmost. The result is not yours. Because it's not where we're headed.
Okay, the result is not your own.
The result doesn't belong to you. It belongs to God. So our people should not think that because of this frustration, why would you take a decision to kill yourself? So it's better for our people to wake up and to keep registering. Let them go and register. I know it's not easy, particularly when people are hungry. Okay, now, some people cannot go, because outside apathy, there is fear. Let me say you come from some of the areas that you know, both of us know, from our own area. How do you go home to register? I know that they said it's online.
But after the online, you must physically do it.
I'm coming now. Even if they say it's online requires that you buy credits. You have to have, I mean, there are so many economic indices involved in this kind of thing. Because we must talk of how do you encourage people economically to be able to buy. I know what it takes now to buy data. Because for you to do that, you have to have data. How many people have data? And then if you have data, if you live in a place like where I live, I don't want to, let me not embarrass my people of MNA. Let me not embarrass them. Sometimes the service comes and goes. The network is a challenge. So these things are there, but having said that, we must not choose to. We shouldn't be suicidal. Because not registering is being suicidal. Because nobody knows what will happen tomorrow. You know? I don't know the former speaker of the House. I don't know why I should forget his name. He died, I think, a year or two ago. The former speaker of the House. He was the person that really fought against third term. Or not just third term. More than even our brother, Naman. But he's now late. I think he's from the same kind or whatever.
It's not busy, Buhari.
No, not Buhari. Buhari lost out now. Buhari lost out. But I've forgotten his name. But because of what he did, he only had one term. Because Obasanjo also fought him. And made sure he never came back to the National Assembly. Then there's a point you made about our about our legislature. It is said that if you're practicing presidential system, it is one of the landmarks is what? Checks
and balances.
Where are the checks and balances? When you have no legislature that is about to check the executive, and judiciary to check the legislature, the checks and balances are just gone. And that's why we are running towards, whether we like it or not, a one-party setup. It's going to one-party setup now. Whether people are accepting it or not accepting it, at the end of the day, the National Assembly, we already have two-thirds, one party. At the state levels,
most states are going that way.
Most states are. So there is a problem because they said it is about, I don't know whether it's manipulation or what, or political strategies, whatever. But we have no checks and balances, and that is one of those things that you have in a presidential system. Even though that Trump is now almost destroying it in America. Trump is almost destroying it in America, but even then, they are still fighting him.
Yes, they still have institutions that
No, the judiciary is stopping him. And he will make a move, and the judiciary will say, no. Even the ones he appointed, they will say, no. So that's why I'm happy that you're a student of history. Most of our people should go and study history first. Because if you study history, you would know how not to misbehave. because judgment will always come after you have died. Do you know why? I always remember I'm a Catholic and I don't apologize to anybody for that. So when we say our major prayer, credo, in Igbo, I like using it in Igbo because I think we're allowed to say that. Otaf Pontius Pilate. He suffered under Pontius Pilate. 2005, over 2,000 years, he still suffered under Pontius Pilate. And you don't live more than 100 years or more than 20 if you are lucky. So why don't you do something that when people talk about it, they will reflect and say, if not for that man. Like when I came in here and saw the young men here, I was happy. I said, fine, this is continuity. So where is continuity? Because whether you like it or not, one day we must leave this place. What have we done in terms of continuity? Why do we remember somebody that is called Okpara?
Am I Okpara?
Yes. Why do we remember him? We have Okpara Square there. He's not from this place. He's from Abia State.
Yes.
But he did something. Why do you remember Akanebia? Yeah. We have to leave something behind. So these are the issues. So our people must learn that we should do our best and be truthful as much as we can when we are here and not deceive ourselves, because most of these problems come from what we call self-deceit. Everybody's, and then you acquire all this property, all these things that you are acquiring. Who are you acquiring them for? Who are you acquiring these things for? You pack all these things. You get all these things. I met my friend 2 days ago. He told me that one man just came back. His father had 40 houses in Enugu. And while they were still looking for the boy after the burial, they called him and he said, I am back to US. They said, what is happening? He said, give it to the lawyer. Let him manage them. So what are we doing with all this? So let us help our people. Why are Nigerians dying from Libya and all over the world? They have been embarrassed when we have the best here. So people kill Nigerians not because they want to kill Nigeria, but they get angry. Why should somebody from a nation so blessed be so dejected? And they just get angry and say, this person is a human waste. So it's not that it is correct, but we just need to do the best we can as long as we are here. So checks and balances, where are they? We are talking of democracy. Like you just pointed out, where are the state assemblies? Where are they? What of the local government? Tinubu was talking the other day. Tinubu said, where are the 724 local? Tinubu asked the question, not me. I'm not quoting myself.
Okay,
Tinubu said, where are the 724 local governments? He said, I'm begging the governors to allow these local governments to work. I'm quoting Tinubu, I'm not quoting myself. I'm paraphrasing. He said, I'm begging the governors to allow this to work because he said, it is in the local communities that things happen. So these things are issues of democracy. I know you must have traveled around the world. The local governments are very strong.
The mayor of London is very powerful. The mayor of New York is like...
You see? They are very strong. Are very powerful, like you said. But what our local governments
I was in Norway. I met the mayor of Lillehammer. Yeah, look at, in fact, they would treat him like a king.
He's a king now. Well, he's a king.
The mayor, so I saw the power of local government administration. Everywhere.
So that's why I'm quoting Tinubu now, because I'm not quoting myself. I'm not looking for trouble. I'm quoting Tinubu. Tinubu said, "Where are they?" He said, I have given them their dues, but the governor should allow this to get to the local government. That's what he said, or not me. So that if they want to catch anybody, they should go and hold Tinubu for saying that. They should not come and hold you. They should hold Tinubu for that. So the local government. So if you're talking about democracy, in which dimension can we really say that for the past 26 years we have been doing well? Very soon now we're celebrating our independence. Is it 65th independence? 65 years of Nigeria. And somebody asks, should we be celebrating that Nigeria is 65? Independence.
An adult toddler,
not even a toddler. The person is, so we have challenges. But we can get this things, we can beat these things. I was trying to tell people about this thing called corruption. I told them it's not Nigerian, it's not international in our DNA. Because I mentioned our brother Fadri of Western Region. He died protecting transparency, accuracy. Not just that. When the sister used his name to go and get a contract, he said, let me see that paper that gave you the contract. He collected the paper and he tore it and said, you want to say that tomorrow they will say it is because you are the sister to the administrator. That is from the West. From the North, we have Aminu Kano. You know the story of Aminu Kano. He was so clean yes, he was so clean that all the plans to get him messed up, they even gave him money as at the back. He went to pay into the government account. If you come to the Southeast, you have Okpara. You have Akano Ibiam. If you go to there's no part of this country that we don't have men that have shown that transparency and honesty that we have them. So people say that corruption is
endemic.
Or is it endemic or in our DNA? It's not true. It's not true. But the structure has created a culture of people stealing. That's what they call kleptocracy. But that particular one doesn't mean that that is in our DNA. It is not. So I want to say that we are trying, but we need to do more.
Okay, we need to do more actually.
Yes.
Of course, one of the reasons they've given for failure, or apart from apathy, is barriers that INEC face. And one of such barriers is the issue of logistics. How can they ensure that the machines, the voting machines, registration machines, they break down so often? They have a staff that are not committed to their jobs. And then how can resources reach rural communities? Because it's like this is an urban thing. If you go to the villages, nobody knows that there's a
CVR.
Yes. So how can INEC ensure that these things get to rural areas?
Well, I think it's about commitment, Honorable. It's about commitment. It's about commitment because when it's election time, they're all over the place, isn't it? So, and there's a case happened in Enugu around 2023. They said that they moved the person that was in charge in Enugu, who was very good. Or they moved him out of where he was. So they know, everybody knows that sometimes it's like a game. So it's not because of simple logistics, because the National Assembly, put so much money. You're just talking about now that is the problem. What happened at the election, 2023? When they cast, even 2015, remember 2015, that the former president, Jude Udebtà, went to vote.
He had problems.
And the thing could not identify him. But luckily, luckily for the people that were fighting him, he had to be who? Because if not for the kind of character he had, that election was already over. If they had put any of us there that day, that election would have been over that particular time. And Nigeria would have been much more safe from the crisis now that we now face. Because some of this, how can Professor, why should I forget his name? The chairman of INEC.
Are you?
No, the Prof now. Okay. No, the man. Yakubu. Yes, Professor Yakubu. Why should he claim now that he doesn't have the logistics? He has been receiving high money all this time. So what is he telling us that? And tomorrow there will be election, and this will be there in the rural area. So that's the beginning of the trouble. I don't want to quote the person that said it. He said that somebody is called excellency because the person has gone through an excellent process. So if the process is already flawed from the beginning, democracy has a process. Yes. And the process is registration. Now, if the people are not registering, tomorrow you will say that out of 100 million prospective voters, that only 9 million voted. You know that India just had an election, just not very long ago. And I think Indian election had about almost 700 million voters. Almost 700 million. And they prepared for them. There was only one candidate, there was only one person to vote in a particular village. And they provided for him. Only one person to vote. They made sure he voted. Only one person. And now we are talking of just a few millions, hundreds of millions. And we are still trying to see.
You go in the states where you have about 5 million voters, and somebody only 400 will turn out, and somebody will win with 200 votes, and he becomes governor.
And they call it democracy. That's not democracy now. But it's part of the challenge. So you are looking at those logistics, yes. But I think it is important that we begin to take ourselves seriously.
Okay, I want to take you back to 2023. After this question, we'll take a short break. Technology dependence. 2023 shows our strength and our weaknesses in the use of technology. Beavers, I arrive. Do you think that as we speak, that this issue of technology will affect the current registration?
I don't know about current registration, like we have discussed the current registration, but the problem we have is the accountability in our structure.
Yeah.
Because as the Dean of Student Affairs of ESUT, I conducted 3 elections. 3. All of them online. All of them online. And they all kind of, everybody people just use their phone. Yes, I know that people try to manipulate. What to use with a computer? With your computer, you can do faster manipulation than with your phone because it has higher capacity. I agree. But all the students have voted using their phone, and this country has more infrastructure than the students of ESUT. So it's about commitment to the truth. But we want to manipulate this. That's why I said we want to manipulate the process. Now, why would we come and say, as of 2023, 2024, 2025, that we are not able? Okay, how do we access our money using our phone? If we say it is true that we don't have a structure, why is that when it comes to our private matters that the thing works? Because if I ask you to now transfer 500 million naira to me now, you will transfer it.
My phone will not carry 500
and it will work.
If I know, my phone will collapse.
And it will work. But people are asked now to allow people to vote online. Because Nigeria must get to that level where people vote online. They don't need to go and put themselves in trouble. So we must get to that. So I think it's more of manipulation than the reality on the ground. That's my own thinking. I may be wrong, but having done this in ESUT 3 times, I know there would have been a fourth. There was one before that one, but I just ran they had finished the election. But I have done 3 full elections, and they were all transparent. Run by where? Run by our brother that is called Tennessee.
Okay.
Now I'm trying to give you an instance. Yes, if you don't have it, you don't have it. But Tennessee has it. Tennessee would come, set up their observation, set up one for the vice chancellor, set up one, the central one, and everyone will be there. The candidates will be there, and you'll be seeing the votes. You'll be seeing the votes going. So, and this is just an institution.
And that is why, of course, I don't know what may be the manipulation in the US, but states control the election.
Yes, now.
So, when the state is voting.
Yes.
And that's why CNN can even predict.
That is it now.
They can predict winners.
Yes, now.
And they really go wrong.
Uh-huh.
Because at the command and control, they are seeing the votes coming.
You're seeing it.
So they say projection.
Yes.
Once it is up to 80%, they'll project.
They'll project now. They will know that you cannot cross again.
You cannot, because they know those who have voted.
Yes.
And those who are left,
yes.
who are yet to vote.
So it's not like it's not rocket science. So they should not be confusing us that they have they're planning to do what they want to do. There's the Nigerian. This is what is called. When we are small, I think, let me say, we are the same generation of Nigerians. We used to say, come and see America wonder. So I think they want to do Nigeria wonder. So this is a Nigeria wonder that they want to do.
Okay,
yes.
Prof, with this year Nigeria wonder, I think we'll take a short break. And when we come back, we'll continue the conversation on the continuous voter registration. And of course, we may delve into other issues affecting Nigeria. Don't go anywhere.
Looking for comfort, luxury, and style? Welcome home to House 32 Apartments. At House 32, you're not just booking a room, you're stepping into executive elegance. We have our 2-bedroom luxury suite, complimentary breakfast, continental and African dishes, laundry handled, power 24/7, security covered, free Wi-Fi, of course. So whether you're planning a business trip or a peaceful getaway, House 32 Apartment is your home away from home. are located at number 32 Ogidi Street, Enugu. Call now to book or email house32enugustate@gmail.com. House 32 Apartment. Live different, stay better.
You are still watching Beyond the Headlines on Freedom Square TV, and of course, we're still reaching you from our Enugu studios. My guest is still Professor Jude Udebtà, Professor of Government and Public Administration, Enugu State University of Science and Technology. Prof, security concerns. The truth is that most parts of Nigeria remain insecure. Does not matter what government says to the contrary. And so it makes voter registration risky. Because you talked about the parts of our own state.
Yes.
Where, of course, so how might this disenfranchise entire communities? There are communities that I'm sure as we speak, unless you ferry them with helicopter or canoe to the town, our next staff may not risk going to those places to register anybody.
Okay, I think it's time for us to cry for the country. Why I say so is because if you are talking of a place like Benue State, where most people are staying in displaced IDP camps. Yes, I know that you can claim that you could claim, no. Those things are not true because you are saying that they're going to be there. During election, people normally go to vote in their own places. Look at what happened to people during the 2023 election. Those who registered in Lagos, who come from the southeast, all the southeasterners, all of them, whether it is southeast or southeast or south or southeast, all of them were refused to. They were disenfranchised. So why am I talking like that? You know, there's something I always like about the world. They say peace and progress. It is when you have peace, then you have progress. Now, you were talking of Nigeria because you just reminded me about Nigeria when we were young. When we were young, we used to use train. That's what we call train. Ubo Loko. That's what they call it here, Ubo Loko. And that Ubo Loko could just suddenly get into disrepair anywhere. Even if it's at Ayo, now near Enugu South, or at any part of Nkano, or at Umuahia. And you stay there and you don't even think about anything negative. People will start sleeping. Or you are going to Karo Namuda in the Ubo Loko, and it goes back. You just come down, the community there will take care of people, and you'll be happy. And everybody was safe. There was security. It's not like we didn't have, minor stealing, but there was something like the kind of badness that we see today. So that particular issue of insecurity is a very big matter because nobody wants to go to register and die. Not to talk of going to vote. So we have it as a problem, but I do not know whether it is to the benefit of one group or another group. I don't want to go into that. All I know is that it is a very big problem because if you use Benue State now, you see what is happening there. Okay, just this morning they announced that some people attacked communities in Kogi State, in Kwara State, sorry. Some people attacked communities in Kwara State and killed many people there, including a pregnant woman. That's today's news. So, which kind of thing is that? And you are telling, and somebody is living there. You want them. I want you to reflect on what happens to our children that are abroad when you want them to come to Nigeria. You want them to come to Nigeria to do what? To come and die or what? People don't want to come back. Everybody is afraid of danger. There is this danger, and then two, you add to the danger the fact that your vote does not count. So you are registering to go and vote, fine, I agree. And your vote may not count at all. So why would you do that kind of thing? Why would you do that kind of thing? So it's a very major challenge. So and that's why we are hoping that both the armed forces and the various community groups would help us to have more security, because if there's security, it's for everybody's benefit. Okay. Yes. So with the because every year we budget trillions and trillions of naira for squad vehicles, for this, for that. At the end of the day, what do we have? I'm sure even at the local government level that you've also used to budget a lot of money for security. For security.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. So, but where is that money now? Because communities are now fighting, trying to even arm their, what we call, their local, what do we call that thing? A community policing, vigilante. So we need more. But beyond that, just security infrastructure is what we call the economic infrastructure of what? Of employment. Because when you create conditions where people can invest on their own, no matter how small it is, they cannot, I mean, like this woman that are working with you here now. Who is going to turn them to a bandit? These people cannot be bandits because they are very busy. They are busy. After this program, they have another program, they have another program, they have another program, and that is, it takes time to be a bandit.
You must have all the time in the world.
You must have all the time in the world.
To roam the forest.
So these are the problems. So apart from this insecurity, we have not tried to deal with the employment problem or the unemployment problem that would take away soldiers from that area. But if we have it, then when people want to go and register, they are not afraid. Because one is that you are not sure of your life when you go to register. Two is that even if you register now, how are you going to vote? And then you have mentioned the question of that the machines are not working.
Okay, that's why I was actually coming to the point of how to overcome voter apathy, especially, and that's what the point we just touched about among the youth, who of course formed the large block of voters.
Yes.
Of course, they voted in 2023, and they saw the way
the thing went.
The thing just went. So they remain very skeptical. But like you say, Jim Boba,
Ahab.
So what would be our words to them?
So for the young ones who found a larger population, because they said that Africa, including Nigeria, they have over 60% youth population. So for the young ones, I think they have more stake in this country. Our own mates are now retiring, isn't it? If we are to be in the civil service, most of us, it's just because we are lecturers. That's why we are still working. I know that we are still going to do more work. I agree. Like you are busy here, I agree. But the point is that the younger ones should understand that they have more stake in the future of this country.
The future belongs to them.
So they should not be afraid of expressing themselves and fighting for the nation because they are still to do their own work, get their own children into it. No. They have to wake up and know that and claim their country. We have to reclaim this country. Some of us, we are lucky. When we went to Nsukka, 1980, when we went to Nsukka, with 50 kobo, you were able to have your morning meal, 50 kobo, you were able to have your afternoon meal, 50 kobo, you had,
with a quarter of a chicken.
No, yes, with a quarter of a chicken. And then you drank tea to your heart's content. And you drank 3 top, which is what they call fruit juice today. To your heart's content, that one, you don't need to pay to drink 3 top.
You go to your room well made.
You go to your room well made. When you finish, you leave the room, the cleaners will come and clean the room. We enjoyed it.
They change beds for you.
They change beds for you. We enjoyed all those things. And then suddenly, what are we giving to these young ones? These are the things that, sometimes it's really confusing. I understand them. When they get angry, I know that they are supposed to be angry. But at the same time, anger is not enough. What practical things are they doing for them to do better? I want to take us back to our forebears. We have the bank called Nnamdi Azikiwe, the Zik of Africa. Whether people like it or not, he's still the Zik of Africa. I say is, I didn't say was. He's still the Zik of Africa. They are not the Zik of Africa. Zik was a young man when he started his revolution from where? North Africa. From Ghana. He started from Ghana. That's why he built people like Kwame Nkrumah, who joined him.
Yes.
Those ones were his acolytes. Then you talk of someone like Awolowo. Zik 1904, Awolowo 1908. By the 1930s, they were already powering. By the 1930s, they were in their 20s and powering their 30s, in the 20s. By the 30s, they were very. But now somebody is 40 years and still answering a youth. Still answering a youth. By the age that you put there, 18 to 34, those people, I know that some people may not like what I'm going to say now. The man called, let me start from Ojukwu. Ojukwu was 32 years, isn't it?
Yes.
When he led Biafra. And Gowon was 29 years.
Yes.
When he led Nigeria. And the man that did the coup, Chukwemeka Nzongo, was 21 when he planned the coup and 27 when he executed it. So why would people sit down and start thinking seriously? So the youth, they have a right to think seriously and stop being, yes, we can be the solution, but the solution doesn't solve problems.
Yeah,
it is action that solves problems. So let us go proactive and solve problems. Let us go and register. Let us register if we can, unless you know that your life is that, because if you die, when death comes, there's no other program. But we ask and pray that the system will be enough to be able to create secure environment for people to go and register. When they now register, then they should go and vote too. They should register and vote and convince others to join them to vote, because we should live in a secure place.
Yes, we should live in a secure place, but people are still wondering how do they connect their voter registration to governance. They voted and voted and voted. Some argue that the main Nigerians are disillusioned because they don't see governance outcomes matching their votes. In all states of the federation, the sitting government will win every seat and every councillorship. They win everything. Okay, if people voted for you to win, they are waiting for what you call dividends of good governance.
Yes.
Or what you call dividends of democracy.
Yes.
They see none. They vote in the state. They hear about projects. They hear about them, but in their localism, they are looking for water. They're looking for electricity. And like you said, the internet or something is dancing. I went to my village the other day for a weekend. I'm a band F kind on there. I don't know whether there's band F in Namul or whether it is band E. The thing will just come before you charge your phone. The thing is off. They say that's how the thing works. So, and you assume you've been voting since 1999, and you can't have a stable electricity. Even in fact, let it be 6 hours a day, so that you know that regularly. You know, when we are much younger, when they want to take light, they announce it. They say there will be power something in the eastern region for this number of hours.
Yes, and they will tell you.
They will tell you. They put in my newspaper, they will write it. So they don't know what's going to happen. This one, the slightest wind that comes.
After the war, immediately after the war,
the slightest wind that comes, the thing will go. No apologies. So people are saying, if they register and vote, that they don't see outcomes matching their votes. What do you tell them?
Yeah, it is because we have accepted this. Both of us read Franz Fanon's book,
President of the
President of the Earth. You know, and in one of the chapters, he says, the people get the kind of, a party get the kind of leadership it deserves.
Yes.
And before long, the people will get the kind of government they deserve. That's one of the pages. So, we are getting what we are getting because that is what we have come to accept. It's not like it is good, but it is what we have come to accept. Let me start with local government. That's why when we had this conference this year of MPS, Nigerian Political Science Association, myself and my wife, we wrote a paper on democracy. I wrote a paper on the local government system. So when I saw that comment from the president, I was happy. The local government system is supposed to be the bastion of democracy. That is the base where everything starts. And immediately the local government becomes democratic. And that's why everyone is trying to make sure it's not democratic. Immediately the local government becomes democratic, the state must join. And the center must join. But incidentally, they do not want the local government to be democratic. And our people don't even see it as a problem. So they just, so they I think it's going to what Nanda Zikiwe said. Somebody said that in Nigeria, after 1978, Zik said that what we are seeing in Nigeria is that democracy is the government of the vested interest, by vested interest, and for the vested interest. So this is what we are now having. Not the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Because that government of the people is that we, it's our government. And then for the people is our interest number one. Not vested, but in Nigeria, according to Nanda Zikiwe, he said it has become government of vested interest, by vested interest, and for vested interest. So, but we must, it is man that liberates himself. Man liberates himself. As a student of history and a master there, you know that no nation has ever made it for reconstruction without some form of what our governor calls disruptive innovation.
So there will be disruption.
I didn't say, I said disruptive innovation. You know, there must be some disruption. If we are not going to accept that, then that means we will continue to go round and round, continue to move around in circles. And we don't need to move on, because it's a shame that this nation that used to be the place, the destination for third world countries for medical tourism in those days, specialist hospital, which we now call UNTH, and UCH Ibadan. They used to be the place for people from Asia and other parts of Africa for health, medical tourism. Nigeria provided everything. Education, Nigeria. We're all at Nsukka now. We are coming from all over the world to be students of the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. And we can point to every sector of the economy where Nigeria was doing well in the 60s, in the 70s, even in the 80s. Suddenly, we are now like ghosts. And it is not fair. It's not fair to our people. It is not fair to God. It's not fair to history that we should be going through this kind of situation where unemployment has become like, you know, what people are suffering, and then underdevelopment itself. Because you just mentioned, why should we in 2025, after 26 years of our Third Republic, I know you like calling it the Fourth Republic, after 26 years of our Third Republic, Amoli, Umbo, people are still looking for electricity. Electricity. We have wind in Amoli that should give us wind turbines. We have the electricity, the one we have even some water bodies that can give us from the little hydro that can get things going. These are the things that we have to take. And then, of course, we have coal. The best coal in the world is where? It's in Enugu.
It's in our bellies. It's the belly of
the best coal. The most thermal coal in the world is here in Enugu. And with that, we have Oji River. So, why don't, even though the governor has tried, but initially, I think it was up to last week. I don't know what happened. From last week, I don't know what's happening. But at the moment, we are beginning to have light. And yes, it's costly. I won't lie to you. It's costly, but it's better for us to have it.
Of course. Let there be light and you pay for it.
It's costly, but because let me tell you what happened to me. Early this year, I paid 30,000 naira and got 419.80 watt, something like that. Then the thing carried me for how many months? Carried me for up to May 5th. Up to May 5th this year. Then when the thing finished, I now when the thing got finished, because the thing just got finished, I now paid 40,000 naira. And you know what I got? 100 and something.
That was a major drop.
From 419 for 10,000 naira to 117
For 40,000.
For 40,000 naira. I'm trying to, because these are the things that, because I like believing, I work with data. And then the thing got finished in a few weeks. Then I was supposed to buy 60,000 naira at 220 or something. Because I don't want because we have children now, they are on holiday and they pick the television is on. They want to iron their clothes and they iron it at will, and they don't care when they iron it, and then they will put the other one, they will put all those things for cooking, they will put it on, the grinder, they will put the grinder, and I put 60, and my in-law was saying, and it was only 200 and something at 60, but at January 5, I was able to buy 419.80 at 30,000 naira. But the point is not the point we are making is that let there be light, let them charge us. When the money is finished, then you can bear it. But, you can bear it, but when it's not there, because industries cannot even survive without. I went to buy gas the other day, and the thing was so slow. And the woman said that it is because they are using their generator. That if it is power, if it's the public power supply, it doesn't have any problem. Even here, you know the meaning of when it is generator and the power. So no nation. Somebody said it from the western part of the world. He said no nation develops on a generator. No nation develops.
So when you have a 50-story building, how do you go there?
That is it. No nation develops on the generator. No nation develops on the generator. But that's what we are doing. We are trying to, but sometimes we make some of these policies just to punish some regions because people are making some money or want to punish some people. It's like what's happening at the fuel area. People are complaining. What do they call the man? Dangote. They said Dangote did that. I said, for now, at least for the first time, people are going to gain, and then some people are quarreling. I said for the first time, people are going to gain. No. I said,
they might be forcing the price to be coming down.
I said, not just forcing it. I said, the man should even come and be selling to us directly. That I don't care. Because somebody was saying, their secretary was saying, I said, they should ask me. Let them ask me. The man said, that don't they have children? I said, so these people know that they have children. What of us? We have been going through their punishment all these years with all our children, and they never thought of it. So, but that's by the way. So, having said that, our people should not surrender to this situation. They should go ahead and register.
Okay, let's talk about this registration.
We have political parties.
Well, whether it's political organizations or whatever they call themselves, but similarly they're political parties. What's actually political education? One of the things we read, whether it was Asobie or whether it was Udebtà Noli.
No, it's Amuchas because we always have those courses together.
Okay, so the role of political parties.
Yes.
If they are political parties, voter education, enlightenment, advocacy, it seems to not to exist. So actually, they're the ones that should mobilize their members to go and register.
No, I think you are having. I don't know why I said, do we have political parties? Let me tell you, with all due respect to who is going to be affected, I'm sorry about that. Let me not use this color. Let me go to Afghanistan again. Let me go to Second Republic. Do you remember Jim Wobodo?
Of course.
Do you remember Sissiono?
Of course.
Now we are not talking of political parties. We're not talking about what we are doing now. I don't want to use today because I don't want trouble for you. I don't want trouble for myself. Now, I remember Jim Wobodo. NPN Adago Bombo. Then as he says it, people are responding from New Market because I know that people are following him, responding from New Market. They are responding from New Market. That's the crowd following him. They don't know. We say because after time we say, oh no, and the rest of it. Then NPN will say, So there was this, very robust campaign system. There was robust political mobilization. There was robust sensitization. And people allowed other parties to work. And if you leave your party, you leave your office. There was no discussion about it. Nobody wanted it to be discussed that you are leaving your party and you are saying, no. It was not discussed at all. It happened to Rimi and other people. It's not discussed. You're either in the party or you're not in the party. If you're in the office, people vote for the party, not for you. So immediately you leave your party, you leave the office because the party owns the office. Until today, we are still voting for party. But now we have no rule of law. Things are not working, and that's why I said where are the parties? Like now, we know we have only one party. The other one, the ADC. It's not even being allowed to even hold meetings. That man from Lagos, what's his name? Vivor. Am I right? Vivor. Vivor tried to host a campaign. Then they paid for it. And online we are showing where everything was smashed and destroyed. Vivor's, if I hope that's the correct name. So the former Labour Party
Guba candidate.
So where are you going? Okay, you cannot come to your state now and ask people to go and campaign under one party. I don't want to mention the party because it's not possible now because people are not sure where they are because there is fear now. Everybody's afraid. So and I understand that one. But you should also understand that you are a historian. People should understand that there is fear everywhere. Under that fear, as of now, who is going to campaign? Only one party can campaign now, and they don't even need to campaign. The party that is sure does not need to campaign. The other ones are running. Is it Matawele? The one from Sokoto?
It's Matawele.
Am I right? Is it the one that tried to the former governor of Sokoto State?
I remember his name.
Okay. So Tambuwa tried to give trouble. I mean,
Is it mature? It's not Gombe.
No, it's Tabua.
Is it from Sokoto? Okay.
Sokoto. He tried to give trouble, and then what happened? The EFCC invited him. It's only that the former governor of Kaduna is fighting hard, and everybody's being careful because like fighting him is like fighting somebody like the former governor of Kaduna of Kano State. The former governor, there are people that you cannot fight unless you want ultimate crisis for the system. So these are the issues. So I agree with you. It is the work under normal circumstance, But are we under a normal circumstance now? I don't know whether we're under one because under normal circumstance, the parties should be the ones. That's why I went to Second Republic. That's why I said we are going to Afghanistan now. Second Republic, the parties were involved in mobilization. Okay, the whole of Delta State is gone. Almost every state is gone. So what are they mobilizing for? When you already have the result. You mobilize because you know that you are going for, that's what my friend and your common friend our common friend Wike called report card. He called it report card. You know, you have to take exam. But when you are sure that you have the result already, what are you taking the exam for? The result is already there now.
Okay.
So it's a very complex
Prof,
situation.
you kill us this morning.
I don't want to kill anybody, but Nigeria is almost trying to kill us. If you don't make some of this fun in this country, you will die of frustration. So it's better for you to create some fun and not kill yourself.
Okay. Let's look at the civil society, the religious institutions, and the media. And of course, there's a platform like the Freedom Square TV. What role should we actually play in boosting participation in this ongoing registration?
I think what you are doing is already part of the work.
Yes.
This idea, you are already doing it. It depends on how much money you have. Because to continue to spread information online, particularly for the young ones, means that you have to have money. It doesn't cost much money, but by the time you send out information to so many platforms, you would see that you have spent some money.
Yeah.
Because immediately, everything has changed though. I used to use only 5, what do you call it? 5, what do they call that in this when I pay, it's just 5. And then they will say
5 gig.
5 gig, I will just pay. Today, if I pay for 30, the thing will disappear for 1 month. Before, 5 used to do for me. 5 used to do for 1 month. And that was little money. Now you will spend so much money, it will not be up to 1 month, the thing will disappear. So, for you to send to so many platforms, it's also money. It's also money. So, but it depends. It's social service. So, I wish to encourage you to continue with that work and to encourage other, what you call NGOs, particularly the religious ones, because religion is very close to our people. You know, the hunger in the land is much, and whenever things are as difficult as it is, we normally turn to God for assistance. So, but here religion plays a major part. Not just the North through the Friday prayers. No. Here, if the churches are properly organized, they would help us to do better. But I think it will be better, it will be easier. It will be easier for the churches to do the work than the political parties. The political parties may not be here because there are no other political parties. But the churches and their kind of organization, they can contribute a lot. Because nobody's like the Catholic Church. The bishop is almost, the Catholic Church is autonomous. Yeah. It's autonomous. 2,000 years of history. So it's autonomous. So, but it depends on this, how this, and they can do it. The Catholic Church can do that. The Anglican Church can do that. The Lutheran Church can do that. Methodist Church can do that, and get people to register. But if you're talking about political parties, I am not seeing it there because there's only one party that is recognized politically. Politically. No, politically, I mean, you talk of political impact. But you just mentioned the one that would help us. The churches, the mosques, the CBOs like your own, Freedom Square, and then these communication groups. Yeah. They can help us. But if you're looking at the political parties that are giving this work ordinarily, the democracy, it's not possible now.
Okay, of course, you know our demography in Freedom Square TV, we play to the youth.
Yes.
We play to the Gen Zs or the Gen Alphas, not for our generation. So they'll be watching you, and of course they will also get to see this on Facebook or YouTube today, tomorrow, the day after. I want to talk to them.
Okay.
Not only just about registration, but about Nigeria.
Okay. For the young ones, we want to thank God for the life He has given to all of us. I want to thank God for the fact that we are still here and working very hard. You know, it is important that we get this country together. And it's through commitment. When Nnamdi Azikiwe, I just mentioned before, that when Nnamdi Azikiwe started, when he came back to Nigeria, what happened to him was what happened to the man called Kenneth Kaunda of Zambia. The white man said that these are people that represent nobody but themselves. And then they got the traditional rulers and all of them joined the white man because they were members, they were stakeholders in that colonial structure. So in the same way, once you know that you are doing something that is good, something that is profitable, something that is going to benefit the community, you should go ahead and continue to do it. Don't allow people to destroy your drive, you know, because when this incident happened in April, I think it was April 1986, the Challenger tragedy, then Ronald Reagan was the president of the USA. He now said that the death of these astronauts, even though it is a disaster, should urge us on. He said that their death shows that mankind is limited only by our imagination and our readiness to strive. So the young ones have imagination, they have the energy, and they should not be deterred by any negative force. Instead, they should keep forward, pursuing their dreams. A lot of people have made it. People thought we were never going to make it, either through sports, which is the greatest industry we have in Nigeria, or through entertainment. Like we talk of Wizkid and our brother here, not Davido, but Flavor, and so on. There are so many of them. So, and they have done very well. And you can even do better than all these people. All you need is keep your imagination and keep your focus. That's what I can say to the young ones.
Keep your imagination. Of course, those are very powerful words from Professor Jude Udebtà. And on this note, Prof, we want to thank you very, very much for your insights, for the conversation we've had this morning on this very important subject of continuous voter registration. Of course, from your analysis, the CVR is not just about numbers, but it's about inclusion. It's about credibility, and it's about the future of democracy in Nigeria. Well, to our viewers, democracy is participatory. Register, verify, vote. Your voice matters. My name is still Uche Nasterelani, okay, and I've been your host on this program. Stay tuned to Freedom Square TV now and always, but you can still join us after this program to air your view, express your opinion, either on Facebook or YouTube at Freedom Square TV. Once again, Prof, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
And God bless you.
Yes.